What do we think of Elon selling all his homes and then actually saying he's going to leave and move Tesla out?
I mean, I don't think it's a practical reality to move Tesla out of California. I think that the incremental facilities can be built wherever he wants them to be built based on where he gets the tax incentives.
Well, but I think the Tesla Fremont was a really good example of this sort of like culture war that's going on, this political battle over lockdowns. And, you had kind of a mid-level health department bureaucrat in Fremont padlocking their factory and saying they couldn't go back to work. Whereas if he was in Texas, he could. And then, around the same time, you had this whole like Shelley Luther thing in Texas where she was a small business owner, owns like a haircut place. And she was basically going to be put in jail for a week for giving somebody a haircut. And there was like a, dust up over that. So, I think that like, the country is certainly ready to get back to work. And if this is the political debate, in November, I'm not sure it will be because 6 months is a really long time from now, but, or was it 4 or 5 months? But if this is a political debate, this will be the way that Trump gets reelected.
Mm.
Yep.
I think there's going to be some pretty significant benefits because the reaction you guys are speaking to, it's not just about people moving, but it's a reaction to regulation. And that could have some pretty profound effects that could benefit certain sectors and businesses and accelerate new outcomes. One of the things that, I have a strong belief in is like, I think in 20 years, we could kind of eradicate all infectious disease. The only thing holding that up is regulation, because the science is known, the engineering is basically there, and it's simply a function of getting these things approved and getting across the finish line. Doing gene editing in humans for genetic mutations that cause harm to humans is a technique that we've known for 20 years. And there was a guy, a patient that died in 1999 from one of the first AAV treatments, the viral vector gene editing treatments. After that, there was this clampdown and suddenly everything stopped. And there was like no longer any progress in the space. And they're just now starting to come back. And there's a lot of, really interesting technology that has been kind of hindered. I mean, not being able to put Teslas out, I think, is the tip of the iceberg of what people are seeing regulation can do to businesses. And look, I'm by no stretch, a libertarian party card carrier, but I do think, and I see it in businesses that I'm involved in all the time, that this, incredibly onerous, like overreaching regulatory burden and bureaucrats really hinder great new things from happening in the world. And it's just become so friggin' apparent how inept the people are that are making the decisions that are doing this to us are during this crisis. And I think it could have a profound benefit on kind of deregulation and accelerating the adoption of new tools and new technologies that could really help us all. So I view the positive side of this. It's not just like everyone's going to leave California. Like there's inept bureaucrats and overregulation everywhere.